Okta, CrowdStrike, and Zscaler work together to provide real-time threat containment against modern threats, such as credential compromise, zero-day malware, ransomware, or insider threats. The integrations prevent the lateral movement of threats while enabling cross-domain enforcement to reduce risk. In this video, we'll look at an insider attack and demonstrate how the three partners exchange risk information in real time to prevent an attempted attack. For this example, we'll look at an employee using a managed device with the CrowdStrike agent installed on the endpoint. The user has also authenticated to Zscaler Client Connector and is subject to its policy control. The employee logs into Slack using their Okta SSO login credentials and is allowed access. So far, access for this user looks normal. However, the employee starts snooping on the network and tries to access a SAP staging site using the admin credential. Unbeknownst to this employee, this SAP application is in fact a decoy deployed by Zscaler Deception, and the user behavior triggers a high-confidence alert. From the Zscaler Deception console, we can see that Zscaler Deception has identified the threat event with a high-risk score. Zscaler Deception can be configured with third-party security tools for automated containment once an active threat is detected. In the Zscaler console, click on Orchestrate and then on Containment. We can see that a containment policy is configured to work with Okta Shared Signals Framework, or SSF. Under Blocked Identities, the risk level of user Jordan.pool has been elevated to high, and this change has been sent to Okta. In addition, a separate containment setting is configured with the CrowdStrike integration to share the IP, IOC hash, and process tree. Here, we see the IP address and device ID associated with the endpoint have been shared with CrowdStrike Insight for containment to prevent any possible lateral movement. If you go back to the user's endpoint, they are not able to connect to any application using their endpoint. Let's take a look at the Okta system log. Under Event Info, a partner-reported risk event was sent to Okta from Zscaler, indicating that the risk level for this user has been changed to high. The change was communicated using SSF. If you click on Entity Risk Policy in the Security menu, there is a rule named Zscaler Reported User Risk Change that says if the entity risk level is high, then Okta responds by executing a universal app logout of the user. As we can see, the user has been logged out of all applications, including Slack. Additionally, you can use an Okta event or webhook to trigger the Okta workflow engine to add a user to the CrowdStrike Falcon ITP watchlist. Let's explore how this works. In the Falcon Identity Threat Protection console, you can see that there are 3 users on the watchlist. Note that Jordan J. Poole is not one of them. Back in the Okta workflow engine, you can see that the user, Jordan J. Poole, is the subject of this workflow that has been triggered via an Okta shared signal. The workflow engine cycles through the steps. Since the workflow is configured to log to the CrowdStrike Falcon LogScale instance, you can see that Okta has reported that the user, Jordan J. Poole, has been added to the Falcon ITP watchlist. If we return to the Falcon ITP watchlist UI and hit refresh, you can see that Jordan J. Poole is now on the watchlist. This is a result of Zscaler sending shared signals to Okta, indicating a heightened level of risk for the user, Okta notifying CrowdStrike via API of the increased risk, and CrowdStrike placing the user on the Falcon ITP watchlist. Now, if the user tries to use a different laptop because their original laptop lost network access due to being network contained, the user will get prompted by Okta for MFA since they're on the CrowdStrike watchlist. Together, Okta, CrowdStrike, and Zscaler provide a strong end-to-end zero-trust solution that eliminates the lateral movement of threats through signal sharing and real-time response across identity, endpoint, and network security systems.